welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is going to be my first review for the channel. I'm reviewing Ghosts of Tsushima, as of course you know by clicking on the video. Yeah, so I'm going to tackle my reviews a little bit different than everybody else. Mine's going to be like less professional because I'm not a professional. I'm learning. So any sort of feedback is welcome. Yeah, basically I'm learning, so I've got a whole bunch of dot points here and a whole bunch of stuff I want to get through. I feel like these reviews will be more of like a discussion, like less me telling you like what to think and more of a discussion. But yeah, the one thing you got to remember is your opinion is more important than mine, because at the end of the day, it's your opinion that matters. So if you like a game, that's great. If you don't like a game, that's great. Just don't attack me or anybody else in the comments section or anybody else who watches my content for liking something that you don't or not liking something that you do. Maybe just have a conversation about why you like that thing and about why they don't like that thing, and then maybe everybody can start to understand each other, and maybe someone will be introduced to something new, or someone will, you know, learn something new about somebody else. But I'm just going to get straight into it. So I was thinking how to start this review, like how I should begin the review, and I think I'm just going to begin by saying I really like this game. I like it a lot, actually. It's got everything you really need for a good open world game, but I guess like we'll start at the start. So it starts really well with it's got a very captivating, gripping story, and it knows how to grab you straight away. The basic premise for the game is the Mongols are invading Tsushima, which is the island, the island just away from Japan. The Mongols are invading Tsushima, taking it over before they begin their invasion of Japan. And you play as a character called Jin Sakai, who is a samurai, who serves under his uncle. And the game basically starts with the invasion happening. There is no they're coming, it's just it's go. You're in the first sort of battle, which sort of feels like an ending sort of fight that you would see at the end of some games, but no, you're just into it. You and your uncle charge at the Mongols, which doesn't end very well for you. You end up getting injured, and you are taken by a woman called Yuna, who heals you up, and then you find out that your uncle is in a castle, been taken captive in Canada Castle, I believe it's called. You go to save your uncle, but you are met by the villain of the game, the main villain who's taken your uncle, called Kotal Khan, and he kind of owns your ass. And it's at that point you realize that, Jin realizes that maybe the old ways aren't going to work against this new enemy, and he needs to become something more. He needs to become the Ghost, someone who fights differently than a samurai. Where a samurai are very honorable, and they will never backstab someone. They will always face their opponent dead on. Jin sort of starts to realize that there aren't any samurai anymore, and if it's gonna be one man, he needs to employ different tactics, and that's where some of the Ghost weapon and gear and stuff comes in. So like, Jin has we'll get into the combat. Jin has sort of two different styles of play. So there is like the samurai way, we'll say, and the Ghost way. Whereas the Ghost way is very stealthy, going across rooftops, using kunai, using bombs, using smoke bombs, all kinds of different things, which you can upgrade over the course of the game to do different stuff. So you'll eventually throw more kunai, or you'll throw stronger kunai, and then the smoke bombs will eventually stun enemies and blind enemies, which makes assassination much easier. It's very Assassin's Creed in the Ghost playstyle, whereas the Samurai playstyle is very much the opposite, where you have these things called stances. Now what stances are is each stance correlates to a particular type of enemy. So say you're versing a Mongol with a shield, you would use the stone stance, which is the stance used primarily against shield types, which does a lot of damage. So you'll hit triangle for your heavy to stagger the enemy, and then you'll just fling into them with square, and triangle to attack. But if you were to attack like a spearman with the stone stance, it does less damage. You'll eventually get into him, but it'll take a lot longer. So the game does a really good job of making you do a little dance where you'll walk into a room and see a whole bunch of enemies, and you will see like 2 spear guys, 2 shield guys, 3 sword guys, and a brute. And you'll instinctively start swapping between stances to the point where you won't even think about it anymore. Like, it's instinctive. Like, you'll take the shield guys out, swap stance, do this, do that. And if you're not swapping stances, the game does remind you, it actually quite annoyingly reminds you, that it'll just sort of slow down time and put a prompt up on screen like the wind stance is stronger against this type of opponent, so it'll make you then change the stance before it takes the prompt off the screen. The game really wants you to fight in a very specific way when fighting as a samurai. Like,
where's the monk?
Otherwise, it does. It just takes too long to take out the enemies if you're just swinging away at them. So the quicker you unlock your stances, the quicker you're able to take care of enemies, which is really easy to do because this open world, this massive open world, has a lot of Mongol camps, and that's how you unlock stances. So in the game, you'll start taking down Mongol camps, which are basically like towers or something from like a Ubisoft game. And once you've observed the Mongol commander, you will then gain a little bit more. You'll then start to unlock the stance a bit more and more. Once the Mongol commander is taken out, the stance will unlock. So the more camps you take out, the more Mongols you're able to defeat. The more camps you take out, the more of the stance you will unlock, which will then make it easier to defeat Mongols. And it's easy enough to find the Mongols. I mean, the open world is awesome. And that brings me to, like, navigation and stuff. So this game has, like, no HUD. Which I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's very immersive. That's what it's going for. Sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, it works incredibly well. So you're guided by, you don't have like a dot on the screen telling you where to go. You're guided by the guiding wind. And what the guiding wind is you open up your map, you pick where you want to go. For example, let's say you were going to a fox den or a Shinto shrine. You then exit from the map, and the wind will then blow in the direction of the shrine, which is really, really cool. And you follow the wind, and you get there, and you start going through. But then there's sometimes where I feel like the guiding wind doesn't always work properly, but it's still a cool mechanic. I like it. It really fits with the samurai motif and stuff like that, so I really do enjoy it. And speaking of like being guided somewhere, you've got all the collectibles in the game. So you've got stuff like Shinto shrines, hot springs, bamboo things you have to cut down. So the bamboo sticks you cut down will increase your resolve, which is used in combat. That's used to heal yourself in combat or use special moves. The hot springs are used to increase your health. So I suggest those two things in the world are the things you get onto straight away. The other stuff like the Shinto shrines will give you charms, which you can slot into your swords. And they're the first things I say you upgrade. Work on upgrading your swords. Worry about your armor and stuff later on. And then there's all the other stuff. So fox dens will take you to where the charms are. The shrines give you charms. Taking down outposts increases your stance and gives you a whole bunch of like stuff to upgrade your weapons with, which will then in turn, once you've done all that, you'll be able to attack the big outposts, take out the main guy, and progressively take back control of the island. Now I'm not going to try and get into story spoilers. I'm just going to say that like the story missions, this game doesn't drag. The story missions always feel like they're meaningful and they're doing something. There aren't that many in the game because you're supposed to do the side missions. There's 61 side missions in the game. They're all quite quick. Like, nothing outstays its welcome. The ones that I suggest you do along with the story, if you are going to go for the platinum, just do it all. If you only want to do the stuff that's important to the story, do the character missions. So for Sensei Ishikawa and Norio and all those guys, and Yuna do their side missions because they progress along with the story, and they're sort of like the only ones you need to worry about if you're only interested in the story. So definitely do those missions. And then I'm trying not to spoil the story. It's really hard because it's really, really cool. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is really cool. I enjoyed this game from start to finish. The campaign was great. The story was amazing. There was plenty of side missions and extra content to do. Plenty of collectibles to find, plenty of stuff to upgrade. You can upgrade mask, headband, armor, colors of armor, all that sort of stuff. And just before I end, like, shout out to Sucker Punch. Like, you guys did an amazing job with this game. Like, I wasn't sure whether this was gonna be like, well, it's just the last game on the PS4, it was fine, or if it was gonna be, this is the best game on the PS4. And it definitely heads more towards the best game on the PS4. It just came out of nowhere, especially releasing only a month after The Last of Us Part 2. That must have been so stressful, and you guys nailed it. It's awesome. So thank you, Sucker Punch. You definitely deserve to be spoken about in the upper echelon of the studios over at PlayStation with the Naughty Dogs and the Insomniacs and all that sort of stuff. So you guys earned it. You did great. Cannot wait for Ghost of Tsushima 2. This game was awesome. When it comes to scoring these things, I'm not really into giving scores, so I guess I'll just be like, thumbs up, play, sideways thumb, bargain, down, don't touch. So this is a play. Definitely go out there and play. This is a game you do not want to miss. I wouldn't call this a swan song. I'd call this a home run. This is the PlayStation's last sort of home run before the end of the Super Bowl, or whatever they call it in baseball. Yeah, this is their touchdown. This is their last one, and if this is the last real big game to come out on the PS4, like, this is definitely one to go out on. This was the best game they could have gone out on. So, thank you, PlayStation. Thank you, Sucker Punch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've learned anything new or just enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. But, yeah, I guess I'm going to go and take a rest now, because that was actually a really, really long and stressful game. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Until next time, may all your games be good ones, and I'll catch you in the next video.